All right, let's dive right into a huge problem in chemistry, maybe the biggest one. How do you count something you literally can't see? We're talking about atoms, right? The building blocks of everything? And today, we're going to unpack the absolutely brilliant idea that lets us measure them, not by counting, but by weighing. Let's get into it.
You know, at its heart, chemistry is a lot like cooking, just on a cosmic scale. It's all about following recipes. You mix just the right amount of this with just the right amount of that to make something brand new. But what do you do when your ingredients are individual atoms? I mean, really think about it. The recipe for water is so simple, right? 2 hydrogen atoms for every 1 oxygen atom. Easy. But you can't just, pick up 2 tiny atoms of hydrogen and 1 of oxygen and pop them in a beaker. They're unbelievably small, and there are just staggering numbers of them in even a single drop. So how in the world did chemists solve this puzzle?
Well, it turns out the solution is something we all do every single day, probably without even thinking about it. See, whenever we're faced with huge numbers of things, we do something very simple. We count them in groups. It's a simple trick, but it has some seriously powerful results.
We do this constantly. A pair of socks, a dozen eggs, a ream of paper. We just instinctively use these special words because it makes thinking about big numbers so much easier. So chemists realized they needed their own version of a dozen, one that was tailor-made for counting atoms.
And honestly, the comparison is almost perfect. A baker says dozen, and you know they mean 12. A chemist says mole, and they mean a specific but much, much bigger number of particles. The goal in both worlds? It's exactly the same, making things convenient.
Okay, so let's make it official. The mole, and you'll see it abbreviated as mole, is simply the chemist's dozen. That's it. When you hear that word, just think of it as a name for a giant pile of atoms. But of course, that brings up the big question. Exactly how big is that pile?
Okay, so get ready, because the number of things in 1 mole, it's not 12, it's not 500, it is a number so ridiculously, mind-bogglingly huge that it's almost impossible to even wrap your head around it. Just look at that. That's 602 sextillion, 200 quintillion. It's a number so vast that our brains don't really have a way to picture it. And that is how many particles are packed into a single mole.
This legendary number has a name. It's called Avogadro's number. And to make it easier to write, we use scientific notation. 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd power. So, 1 mole of anything, whether it's carbon atoms or water molecules or whatever, it always contains this exact number of particles.
To try and grasp just how big this number is, think about this. And this is my favorite analogy. If you had a mole of donuts, you could cover the entire surface of the Earth in a layer that was 5 miles deep. It's an absolutely astronomical number, which is perfect because you need it to count the astronomical number of atoms in even the tiniest sample.
Okay, so we have a name for our group, the mole, and we have the magic number it stands for, but there's still one major problem we have to deal with in the lab.
Right, this is really the last piece of the puzzle. It's fantastic to have this number, but, we obviously can't sit there in a lab and count out atoms one by one until we hit 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. We need some kind of bridge, a link between this huge abstract number and something we can actually measure, like with a scale.
And here it is, the brilliant solution, molar mass. This is the really genius part of the whole mole concept. Molar mass is simply the weight, in grams, of 1 mole of anything. This is the crucial connection between the invisible world of atoms and the very real, tangible world of our lab equipment.
And this is where the pure elegance of the system really shines. See, Avogadro's number wasn't just picked out of a hat. It was chosen specifically so that the mass of a single atom, in its own special units, atomic mass units, is numerically the exact same as the mass of 1 mole of those atoms in grams. So when you look at carbon on the periodic table and see 12.011, that number tells you 2 things at once, the tiny mass of 1 atom and the weight of a mole of carbon in grams. It's an incredible shortcut.
So now we've got all the tools in our toolkit. We have the group name, the mole. We have the magic number, Avogadro's number. And we have the bridge to the real world, molar mass. So let's put it all together and see it in action.
And this is it. This is the big aha moment. A chemist can go into a lab, weigh out exactly 12.011 grams of carbon powder, and without counting a single solitary atom, they know with absolute certainty that they have exactly 1 mole, They have 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms right there on the scale. They've counted the uncountable just by weighing it. It's amazing.
So this little roadmap basically shows the whole workflow. You start with something you can actually measure in the lab, mass in grams. Then you use that handy molar mass from the periodic table to convert that weight into an amount, in moles. And once you have moles, boom, you know the exact number of particles you're dealing with. It's just such a powerful and elegant process.
So why does all this matter so much? Because the mole is maybe the most important bridge in all of chemistry. It's what connects that tiny, invisible world of atoms with the big, macroscopic world that we can actually see and measure. It lets us follow chemical recipes with atomic precision, which makes everything from new medicines to advanced materials possible. It's really the foundation of everything.
And that's really the big takeaway, isn't it? By coming up with this clever way to count the uncountable, science basically unlocked the ability to precisely control the building blocks of our universe. And it leaves us with a pretty powerful thought. If we have the cosmic recipe book, and now we have a way to measure out all the ingredients, what are the limits to what we can create?